The king's Job. Rudyard Kipling. Once on a time was a king anxious to understand what was the wisest thing a man could do for his land. Most of his population hurried to answer the question, each with a long oration, each with a new suggestion. They interrupted his meals, he wasn't safe in his bed from 'em, they hung round his neck and heels, and at last his majesty fled from him. He put on a leper's cloak, people leave lepers alone, out of the window he broke, and abdicated his throne. All that rapturous day, while his court and his ministers mourned him, he danced on his own highway till his own policemen warned him. Gay and cheerful he ran. Lepers don't cheer as a rule, till he found a philosopher man teaching an infant school. The windows were open wide, the king sat down on the grass, and heard the children inside reciting and quo. Our king is an ass. Ampersand quo. The king popped in his head, ampersand quo. Some people would call this treason, but I think you are right, ampersand quo. He said. Ampersand quo. Will you kindly give me your reason? Ampersand quo. Lepers in school are as rare as kings with a leper's dress on, but the class didn't stop or stare. It calmly went on with the lesson, ampersand quo. The wisest thing, we suppose, that a man can do for his land, is the work that lies under his nose, with the tools that lie under his hand. Ampersand quo. The king whipped off his cloak, and stood in his crown before him. He said, ampersand quo. My dear little folk, exor parvulorum. Ampersand quo. Which is Latin for and quo. Children no more than grown-ups would credit and quo. You have shown me the road to go, and I propose to tread it. Ampersand quo. Back to his kingdom he ran, and issued a proclamation, ampersand quo. Let every living man return to his occupation. Ampersand quo. Then he explained to the mob who cheered in his palace and round it, ampersand quo. I've been to look for a job, and heaven be praised I've found it. Ampersand quo.